Hey, YouTubers. So, I'm in the garage again. Yes, the garage. Big ass garage, like the big ass cigar. You can guess what I'm doing right now. You can probably guess. You can probably guess. I'm smoking a hashtag big ass cigar. Look at that big ass cigar. Anyway, so I'm smoking a Grand Habano lunch break cigar, Connecticut cigar. Nice big ass cigar for life. Anyway, just in the garage on an incredibly shitty day. It's a rainy, shitty, dreary day. Just pouring rain. This whole day has been rain. Just fucking rain. I mean, I hate to sound negative, like a negative Nancy, but this whole day has been just pouring rain. Anyway, so I am smoking my big ass cigar as the big ass cigar for life. I'm not drinking anything right now. I'm not drinking, anything special like a Corona, not coronavirus, but not drinking anything special like a beer or a glass of wine, anything like that. Anyway, I have a little bit of a ramble right now, so I thought I'd do a ramble right now for you guys, the viewer, nice big ass viewer like the big ass cigar. This is a kind of an interesting ass ramble like the big ass cigar. If you're not into watching rambles or stories, click off right now. You don't have to watch, just like, I know some people just want to hear me talk about tobacco nonstop, but I mean, if you want to hear this shit, whatever. So, I got a little bit of a story today. So, basically, I did some errands today with my father. So, my father picked me up at, Papa Smoking Essie. He picked me up at my apartment today. Nice big ass apartment, like the big ass cigar. We went to the typical ass liquor store in town. Yeah, typical ass liquor store. Say that 5 times fast, tongue twister, big ass tongue twister, like the big ass cigar. And then we went to Roche Brothers. Oh, car going by. Yep, we went to Roche Brothers, the grocery store. And then we went back to my apartment. And let's see, we put my stuff away at the apartment. And basically, oh, is there a car going by? Sorry. I know it's just annoying when the cars go by, just because it's very distracting to me. So I'm sorry if I keep looking over there. I'm not. It's not because I'm not giving eye contact. It's just because it's distracting to me when a car goes by. So yeah, don't think I'm being a dick by just looking that way. I know people interpret, people are not giving eye contact as being rude. So anyway, back to the story. So my dad dropped me at the apartment, and basically I put my groceries away, my weekly groceries away, and then my dad called this sandwich shop. I'm not going to mention the name of the sandwich shop because obviously I don't want to dox myself. I don't want to fucking dox myself. So anyway, so it's a local sandwich shop. It's not like a Subway or anything like a big franchise like that. So that's part of the reason why I'm not going to mention the name, is because I don't want to give out my personal address or my personal state, or you get the freaking point. So some things are just private. I do say that I live in Massachusetts. But I'm not going to say the exact town I live in because obviously that's fucking private. So it's not like a big sandwich franchise like Subway or Quiznos or like D'Angelo's, like a big sandwich shop like that. So that's the fucking point. So anyway, so my dad called the sandwich shop, and basically we went to the sandwich shop, and I sat in the car while my dad was getting his sandwiches. He got my mother a tuna sub, and he also got himself, I think, a ham and cheese sub, and also a bag of chips, and two sodas. He got a diet soda for himself, and also a regular, like a Pepsi or regular Coca-Cola, for my mother, because she drinks regular soda, not diet soda. And he came in the car and said, "Oh, I was asking them, by the way, do they do anything gluten-free in there? Like anything, like, obviously people know on this channel I'm fucking gluten-free. I mean, people obviously know that shit. It's like, I am gluten-free. I was asking, the people in there, the manager in there, do they do anything gluten-free? And what was interesting was my dad said, I'm speaking in the third person here. So FYI, I'm speaking in the third person here. My dad said, they're like, oh, we've tried exploring that, that side, the gluten-free side. That's what the manager said. We simply cannot do it because of how we do our sandwiches, which is interesting. So, because, a lot of sandwich shops, a lot of pizza joints, not joint as in this, a lot of sandwich shops, a lot of pizza places are pretty accommodating and have what's called gluten-friendly pizza, which means it's, gluten-sensitive pizza, or like gluten-sensitive, like sandwich rolls, far from the 20 parts per million, which is the FDA considers safe. So doctors will not recommend, allergists will not recommend it to somebody who has a severe allergy or severe intolerance, because it's far from considered safe. But for somebody who has like a preference, car going by, for somebody who just has a preference, or somebody who's just mildly intolerant, or somebody like me who's making their own goddamn choice, somebody like me who's just, making my own choice, who obviously is, an adult and understands the risks involved and just, wants to do whatever they want to do. Obviously there's, there should be choices there, and most places, will have a gluten-friendly menu. But what's interesting about this place is, and again, I'm not going to mention the name of the place because it's not like a big sandwich shop like Subway. It's not like a Subway or a Quiznos or like a D'Angelo's. I don't think Quiznos even exists anymore. But it's not like a Jersey Mike's, anything like that. So, and I don't want to, give out my personal town, anything like that. So, also, I don't want to mention the name of the shop just because I don't want to get them any kind of bad business. So basically, basically what the manager told my father, or one of the owners, I guess, told my father is that because they home make their pizzas at the shop, essentially their pizzas are homemade and their sandwich rolls are homemade. It's homemade bread. That's why essentially they can't do gluten-free shit. Is because obviously he didn't say shit as in shit, but that's why they simply cannot do gluten-free stuff, is because, or gluten sensitive or gluten friendly stuff, is because essentially they buy a homemade bread that's obviously not gluten free. It's wheat or whatever, probably wheat, wheat bread. And basically they home make everything, and there's a separate oven they use, but they only run it apparently 1 day a week, so that's why they can't do gluten-friendly stuff. Is because, let me just tap off the ash, is because everything in their shop is homemade. And what the guy was explaining to me, the guy was, relatively nice about it. I think he was pretty nice to my father about it. He wasn't, like, rude about it, which is good because some people can be kind of rude about that stuff. Is most places that do the gluten-friendly stuff are gluten-sensitive. Gluten-sensitive means the same thing as gluten-friendly. It's like saying tomato and tomato. Basically, most places that do the gluten-friendly stuff or gluten-sensitive will buy a frozen gluten-free pizza. They'll buy a frozen gluten-free pizza, and then they will heat it up in a separate oven to avoid cross-contamination to some degree. But because they only have one oven, that's the reason why they can't do it. So because everything in their shop, and again, it's not like a major franchise like Subway or like D'Angelo's or Jersey Mike's, or Jimmy John's, where it's a major, big sandwich shop. It's a little like mom and pop sandwich shop. Obviously, not going to mention the name. I'm not going to dox anybody, whatever. So I'm not going to dox myself. So because it's a little like mom and pop sandwich shop, which only has one oven, that's why, because everything is homemade in their environment, that's why they simply can't. And also, in addition to that, excuse me, I had a tickle in my throat. Also, in addition to, oh, there's a car going by, sorry. Cars are kind of irritating. Everyone's coming home from work. Yep, everyone's coming home from work. 5:30, everyone's coming home from work. So everyone in the neighborhood is coming home from work. So back to what I was saying is, in addition to everything in their shop being homemade, like the bread is homemade bread and the pizza dough is homemade pizza dough, in addition to that, they expressed severe concern because especially for a small mom and pop business, all it would really take is for one person to say, "Well, you told me this is gluten free, and I got deathly ill on this. I'm suing your ass." Yeah, so that's kind of their concern. So is unlike a big franchise, which again, this place is not a big franchise. It's not like a Subway, like a fucking Subway. Or like a Jersey Mike's, where it's a big corporate company with a army of lawyers and a shitload of money. So basically, the combination of everything in their shop being homemade, the pizza flour, the pizza dough being homemade, probably like a homemade recipe, like a secret homemade recipe. Well, it might not be secret. I'm not sure if it's secret. Like a homemade recipe, and also like the bread for the sandwiches, the subs being homemade and store bought. Basically, unfortunately, they can't separate the gluten free shit, as in bullshit is bullshit, and basically. That's one reason why they're unable to do it, is because most big places like Papa Gino's or like Papa John's, which is another pizza place, big ass pizza like the Big Ass Cigar, they will basically buy like a frozen like Udi's, which is a gluten free brand pizza, and basically they will make it. Oh, excuse me, I burped. I'm a fucking hog. So they will buy like a big order of gluten free frozen pizzas, and basically store them in the freezer. And then when somebody orders it, they'll basically just heat it up. And because everything is homemade in this environment, essentially that's the reason why they can't touch it. And also, like they said, they expressed a lot of concern because they're a small mom and pop business, and all it would take is for one person to say, "Oh, I got deathly ill on your gluten-free thing. I'm suing your ass." Which you have to consider. Big franchises like McDonald's. Big franchises like Taco Bell. Wendy's. Fucking Wendy's. Fucking Burger King. Fucking KFC. Those are huge, huge, huge franchises, and they have a army of lawyers, and they don't give. I mean, a place like KFC, a place like McDonald's, they don't give a shit if somebody sues them. It's like some small fry, soccer mom sues them. They don't give a shit. It's like as in bullshit is bullshit, but a small mom and pop business, if one angry soccer mom sued them, that could make a serious dent in their business, a serious dent. They could take them years to recover from. It could really hurt their business. And that's why this place, unfortunately, will not touch the gluten free or gluten sensitive or gluten friendly stuff. Even a place like IHOP, it was interesting. My counselor and I were at IHOP the other day, I think it was last week, and we were sitting at the booth. It was actually very quiet, very quiet. It was actually a day like this. It was actually a very rainy day like this. And it was not this past Monday, but the Monday before. It was a very rainy day like this, and basically. We were sitting there. We had this waiter, this very nice guy, very young, very nice young guy, and well, in terms of young, I mean like probably early 20s, late teens, not like a 10-year-old kid, and basically, my counselor was asking him, why do you call your pancakes that he's ordering gluten-friendly pancakes, not gluten-free pancakes? My counselor was asking that shit. My counselor was asking that. Why do you call your pancakes gluten-friendly pancakes as opposed to gluten-free? And the guy who was this very nice, very friendly, very sociable, young guy, was saying, it has to do with, I believe, the amount of gluten in the product. So, because I guess what he was alluding to was because we are a commercialized kitchen, and IHOP is another big, they're a big company just like Subway, or they're not as big as McDonald's, fucking McDonald's, fucking KFC, but they're a big, they're a big company, a big ass company, and they're a big company and they have a good corporate team, whatever, and because they use the term gluten friendly, which means it's not made of gluten. See, when something is gluten free, and this is something that everyone should know, is when something is gluten free, it's gone through strict FDA testing. I had some corn chips, not porn chips, corn curls, like those cheese poofs, which are made out of corn, not porn. Corn, not porn. And basically, those are labeled gluten free. These Carolina Reaper cheese curls. And they're labeled gluten-free, which means they've gone through strict FDA testing. The company that makes them, Herr's, HERR''S, Herr's, it means it's gone through strict FDA testing. There's been strict FDA testing, and it's down to such a small amount that even for somebody who has a life-threatening allergy, it's considered safe in most cases. Obviously not liable. So. But because the gluten-friendly pancakes at IHOP, because they're prepared in a commercialized kitchen, there is risk of cross-contamination. The pan they use is also probably used in other pans. It's probably washed out in between, but there may be trace residue of trace gluten. So I guess the whole point is after 15 minutes of rambling is it's more for somebody who has a severe intolerance or severe allergy that you have to worry about this shit. But I can definitely understand. Sorry, I had to crack my knuckles. I can definitely understand where a small mom and pop business doesn't want to get involved in that kind of bullshit. That kind of bullshit in general. I can definitely understand because even a small a small district court lawsuit could really, really hurt a small mom and pop business. Compared to fucking McDonald's, fucking Taco Bell, fucking KFC, fucking Wendy's, they have a huge army of lawyers, and also they have a shitload of money. It's they have a shitload of money, and I mean those places are regularly dealing with lawsuits. Wendy's, McDonald's, during fast food litigation. Is regularly dealing with, this and this. So it's different when you're and what's funny is if you go to Taco Bell's website, you go to fucking Taco Bell's website, they have a huge disclaimer about what's considered gluten free in their restaurant, and it says, "Oh, Taco Bell Inc. does not guarantee anything gluten-free. We are not responsible for anything that happens to you in this premise." You know, this and that, and you can tell it's written by a corporate attorney. You can tell the shit is written by a corporate attorney. It's not written by a staff member or a manager. It's written by a corporate lawyer in probably New York or Los Angeles. Anyway, I'm rambling on. So that's a little ramble there. I hope you enjoyed this story. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.